on. Hello, this is Dr. Jason Munsell back again. It is Tuesday, almost 1 o'clock my time, 2 o'clock your time. I'm going to try to be brief because I got to go pick up my niece at her art camp. But you know me, I can't be all that brief. A couple of things. I put a new thread, or a few things. I put a new thread up, so you should have see the new thread for week number 2, which is basically the critical thinking activity. That's on page, whatever page it's on here in chapter 2. Where are you? Well, anyway, I emailed you about it. 55, page 55. But I also said that you don't necessarily have to do this flooding thing, advertisement. You certainly can do any other advertisements that you could find, so whatever you want to do there. And also just continue to blog, continue to tweet, even though stuff is due Sunday doesn't mean you have to wait until Sunday. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you just have to do one blog per week or one tweet per week. You can do as many as you possibly want, and I've been trying to give some suggestions for what to do. And really, you know, you can do whatever you want to, so long as you're referencing course material. For instance, Joseph. Hey, Joseph, what's up, man? Started a rough draft of his first paper on his first blog. And again, I'm hoping that you all will follow one another, not just on the threading, but follow each other on Twitter and Tumblr, so you can see what other people are doing, have dialogues that way to learn this stuff. Okay, so I know you can't see this, I'm sorry about that, but I have put a few more, couple more PowerPoints on KC, and I'll continue to do so, and I'll get through some more of chapter 2 today. I don't know if I'll finish all of it, but some of it. Okay, so what this says here that you cannot see is that Persuasion Summer 2016, because that is the year, and this is all strange magic, because, can you see that? Oh no. This lame PowerPoint, it says, is not about ELO, which is the Electric Light Orchestra Strange Magic. If you don't know who ELO is, I'm sorry. This is about, this next thing is about not ELO, but ELM, the elaboration likelihood model by Petty and Copio? Yeah, I can't, something like that. I said with bonus tracks. This is a pretty important theory. It's more of a social scientific theory. They start talking about this on page where is it? 51. So I have here that you can read that you cannot see because I did a really bad job with this PowerPoint. It's basically, it's trying to explain, again it's a theory, it's trying to explain how persuasion is a consequence not just of external cues, that is stuff that is sent to us by persuaders, or intentionally or not, but also the thoughts the persuadee generates in response to those external cues, whatever they are. So generally, we take the central route, which is sort of like the critical thinking, blah blah blah, or more of a peripheral route, which is we don't really think too much about it. And I say the central route is sort of like critical thinking. Peripheral route is more of sort of cognitive shorthands. We don't have to think about it. And then you have this figure on page 52, which I say the drunk monkey attacks again. It's a little bit hard to see all this stuff or to understand all this type of stuff, but it is pretty interesting. And I'll let you read all this stuff, and I have a few more things that I want to say. I'm actually adding to what the book has to say, because there's a lot of different things that we do when it comes to the peripheral type of stuff and the cognitive shorthand, so I'm adding some stuff here. But delicious cutie. Water is good. It's hot today. Very humid. No, it's hot there too. Hot. Okay, so to try to make sense of this thing right here. So we got an external cue or a persuasive message. Car commercial, beer commercial, a commercial selling tires. It doesn't matter. So here's the idea. Here's how this sort of works. It's the yes/no. Is the audience member motivated to evaluate the information? Maybe I see a tire commercial, but I'm tired of tires, and I don't really need tires, so I say no. No, I'm not interested, or I'm not motivated to evaluate the information. And so peripheral cues such as source attractiveness, music, or images, are they apparent? If yes, maybe I have some sort of short-term attitude change. Okay, that looks like cool tires, yeah, but I'm not in the mood for tires, or I don't need tires. If no, then I don't change my attitude at all, whatever. So if I'm really motivated, let's say I'm into tires. I like my tires. They round, they roll, reinventing the wheel. But I'm in the market for tires. I need new tires. So yes, I'm really motivated. And so if yes, is audience member able to process? Yeah, so I can process all this information. So let's say yes, audience member will follow the central route and cognitively process the persuader's message. So if I have a positive evaluation, so I do a lot of research, blah, 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 I really listen to the tire commercial, and so I might have long-term, more resistant attitude change. That is, you know, I used to do Dunlaps, now I do Firestone or whatever, and so now I'm a die-hard Firestone fan. Maybe if I have negative valuation of the information, I will never ever buy Firestone. Dunlap forever and ever and ever. And then there's neutral value. In any case, so basically it's all about, am I motivated to listen to this information? Am I going to think critically, or am I going to not be terribly motivated and just sort of listen to what they have to say, but that still could possibly change my attitude. It's just sort of short-lived. So that's what ELM is about, the elaboration likelihood model. How likely are we to elaborate and think about things that are sent our way, persuasive messages and the like? Does that make any sense whatsoever? Gosh. Okay, so this is not actually in the book, but I think it's important because it sort of ties into this peripheral route, because I do think oftentimes, or more than often, we use the peripheral route more so than the central route because we're lazy. We're not always very mindful, and we got lots of stuff going on. It goes back to all the stuff that we were talking about in chapter 1, information overload and all that jazz. So this is from Cialdini or whatever. I can't pronounce anybody's name. I have a dog. Actually, that's like a dog, Irish or something. Dublin. The rain in Spain. Something. I don't know. Okay, so what we have here are a list of sort of what he calls or she calls, I don't know, cognitive shorthands. And that is, we oftentimes we don't think through things, and so these things can oftentimes be persuasive, I suppose, and it can be used, but is that ethical? I don't know. So, okay, contrast. Again, what I'm trying to show you is examples of what I think are ways that we think when we're using this peripheral cue. But the argument is that when we use peripheral cues, the attitude change, if there is attitude change at all, is short-lived. But if we really think through things and we're motivated to change, then the central route will have long-term or more resistant attitude change. Okay, so contrast stuff to make the second thing